Good afternoon, everybody. It is the 5th of July. Hope you all have safely survived all the reopenings yesterday, and anybody who's involved in that sort of business, I hope it went really, really well for you and everything was safe. Haven't done a video for a couple of weeks. We'll do this one, then we'll do one just before we officially finish for the summer holidays, which seems absolutely crazy that I'm saying that. So split into two sort of parts really, this video. One, what's going on at the moment, but I think possibly something that you're more interested in now is plans for September. So for the moment, lovely to see the year 9s last week. Obviously we've had the year 10s back for 2 weeks now. That's been fantastic. They've settled in well. So the year 10s, and for those of you who don't know, over half of them have chosen to return, which is fantastic. Will make a huge difference for them when they come back full time in September, and they come into school one day and have a whole host of core lessons, and then they have the next day their option lessons zoomed into the classrooms from their teachers who are either based in school doing the zooming or at home doing the zooming for a variety of different reasons. So it's been fab having the year 10s back. Lovely to see the year 9s. I don't know whether I've shrunk over the last 15 weeks or they've just all grown significantly, but they do seem to be as though sorry, the dog's just coming in. They seem to be much taller than they were last time that I saw them. So it's been great to see them. We are currently voting for the head boy and head girl, so we should have some news on that next week. And then on the lovely to see front, it's been wonderful to see our new year 7s who will be joining us in September. Many of those have come in to collect their wonder books, which they are going to be reading over the holidays, ready for a September start, and it's been lovely to see those. And if you're watching this and you are a year 6 who's going to be a new year 7, you haven't collected your book, it would be lovely to see you over the next couple of weeks coming to collect Wonder. We are also very fortunate. Father Jed has agreed to celebrate end of term mass with us. Obviously that's something that we would always have, and we're not going to be able to have in a traditional way this year, so we're looking to have a virtual end of term mass, and I'll get details to you about that in the next week or so. I think it's going to be a week on Monday, so Monday the 13th at some point. Right, September. Guidance came out this week. It had been leaked earlier on in the week, so we had a sort of a fair idea what was going to be in it, and actually it's okay. We are very confident that we can get all of our St Anthony's students back full time. Timing slightly different for some groups, and I'll give more detail in a couple of weeks, but full time and a full broad and balanced curriculum. So the intention at the moment is not to lose any subjects at all. The intention is possibly to top up in some subjects, so in maths and English particularly, to look to getting sort of extra catch up for maths and English, not for everybody but for some students. But we've got a plan in place, and then the most important part, once we sort of pull that plan apart and make sure that it will work, then I will put together a risk assessment, and it will be a really rigorous risk assessment which will be passed by the governors and will be passed by Trafford, and they will be checking that everything is in place that needs to be in place. But I'm confident that the children will be safe and the staff will be safe when they return to school. A few different parts of that. One of the most important key things of that is we're going to implement a one-way system around school that will be rigorously enforced. At changeover times, lessons, break time, lunch time, we must use the one-way system, because that will minimise the contact students have with each other. So the main sort of points out of the guidance is minimise contact with people outside of your bubble, and our bubbles will be year groups, so a whole year 7 bubble, 8 bubble, 9 bubble. Minimise that contact and maintain social distancing as best you can whenever it's possible to maintain it. And sometimes it's not, but most of the time we will be able to do that. So, but the one-way system is going to be very important. That's going to be a big change for people. The expectation to use hand sanitizer will also be an expectation for students. We can't add lots and lots of extra toilets everywhere. We can't take up the science labs washing facilities if we want to be delivering science, which we do. So there will be an expectation. There will be a sanitation station in all of the rooms and around school. The expectation is that a child will use hand sanitizer sanitizer when instructed to, and there will be no arguments about that. So I'm sure that won't be a problem at all. There will be different start times, different end times, different breaks, different lunches. So the structure of the school day will be different for the students, but we'll easily get into that routine. You've been out of the old routine for a long time, so we'll easily get into the new routine. And again, we know that you will work with us because you will understand the importance of doing what it is we have to do. Attendance is incredibly important. Some people have chosen, even though they can return at the moment, not to return. You need to return in September unless there is a medical reason not to. If you as a parent is feeling really anxious about that for your children and don't think we can do it in September, if as a child watching this you're feeling really anxious and don't think you can do it, please ring me, email me. Let's have the discussion now. Let's see if we can put something into place that will make you feel less anxious and more safe about it, more secure in what we're doing about it. It will be as safe an environment as we can make it. So please, if you're having queries now, contact us now, and then we can put some support in place for you. We want everybody back in September. Everybody back in September. And I'm looking forward to that being the case. Uniform is one of the things you will have heard about. There was some chundering a few weeks ago about blazers, not blazers, blazers, not blazers. Full school uniform in September, as would always be expected. If you want to wash it more frequently, absolutely fine. The guidance says actually it's not required. So full school uniform, including ties, including blazers, in September when you come back, and obviously the normal requirements regarding shoes. JD Sports definition of school shoes is not our definition. If in doubt, send us a photo, send Mr. Speak a photograph of what you're intending to buy and he will yay or nay it. Okay, but those of you who are our students already, you know what is acceptable and what's not acceptable from footwear, so just stick with what you know, and don't make an expensive mistake, because it could be an expensive mistake. Transport is also a key element of the guidance that we've had. School transport and then normal public transport. What I would ask you is that where you can, if you can, you walk to school or you cycle to school. Now you're going to get a survey link this week, at some point this week, a survey link that I want you to answer, because if you cycle to school, and if there's lots of you cycling to school, obviously we want to make sure that we make your bikes as safe as we possibly can. We can't take responsibility for them on site, but we will do everything we can to make sure that they're as safe as they can, and that might mean extra spaces in school to get them locked up. It might even mean an extra bike shed. We need to be able to plan for that. So when you get a survey this week about transport, please use that. If you come on a public bus or on the school bus, you'll be expected to wear your face covering, as is expected now, but on the school bus we may not be able to maintain the bubbles as such for year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, depending on how many you're on there. So if you can walk or if you can cycle, that would be the best bet. And then with regards to the face coverings, while we're talking about it, there is no expectation for staff or for students to wear face coverings in school. No expectation for that to happen. That's been decided that that's not necessarily appropriate. So that's it for the moment. I will send a letter and back it up with a video in a week or so's time with some more detail. Once we've clarified the plans, once we've got governor's approval, once we've got the risk assessment approved, and with Trafford, I will come back to you with the absolute sort of detail. We have been told now that there will be no more guidance coming in before September. So really what we've got now is what I need to work with. But obviously if transmission rates and infection rates increase, then we could have a pull back on what we're planning, but at the moment I'm working with that, and I'm hoping that that will be in place. So has been wonderful to see so many faces over the last new ones, new year 7s, and then the old ones of you coming back. Keep in touch with us. You know, you've used to emailing us now. Mrs. Rothwell does a sterling job with Facebook. Keep on top of Facebook, keep on top of the website. Loads and loads of great resources. Speakers for Schools, a new set of voices talks out this week, but loads and loads of activities, and just have a safe couple of weeks, and I'll see you again hopefully soon, and look forward to seeing year 8 on Wednesday. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.